Yeah. No gray area. And no sitting on the fence neither. Couldn't play by the rules. Said grace with the wolves. Ever did it down and back in the Delta 88 late night when you lose. Overpaid my dues. Affirm.
Yo, what's up, guys? This is Raw Podcast back at you with another video on today. Make sure you hit that subscription button, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell, and hit the word all so that you may receive every notification that comes for this channel. And we got a banger for you guys on today. We're going to talk about Jamar Chase chasing greatness. Now, we know that a lot of people, in the eyes of a lot of people, that Jay Jetta is the #1 wide receiver in the National Football League. And rightfully so, he has been putting up crazy numbers since he's come into the league about 5 years ago. Ended up getting a huge bag from the Minnesota Vikings to be the #1 wide receiver to get paid a lot of money. But then we knew that right behind him, we knew that Jamar Chase was going to be able to come up for a new deal as well. And Jamar Chase deal exceeds the deal of Jay Jetta. But that doesn't mean that Jay Jetta is not the #1 guy. But at the same time, I just want to bring up the argument of Jamar Chase being that dude as well. Now, both of these guys coming into the National Football League have been very, very good picks for their teams. Jay Jetta definitely being a great wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings, and also Jamar Chase being a good receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals. So both of the Cincinnati Bengals and the Minnesota Vikings hit on both of their picks with both receivers. Now, Jay Jetta, who has had 5 seasons of being the best wide receiver pretty much in the National Football League since he's come into the league, and he's taken the lead by storm ever since he's come in. But then you had Jamar Chase. Both of these guys were teammates at LSU, and both of these guys were big time. And to me, both of these guys are like, they're just competing with each other to find out who's going to be the best at the end of the season. But both of these guys are tremendous athletes. Both of these guys bring it every time they're on the field. And definitely, I just think that Jamar Chase is, this dude is on another level, man. Jamar Chase, who leads with 46 touchdowns. I think Jay Jetta has 40 touchdowns, but Jay Jetta also has over 7,000 yards receiving already to go along with almost close to 500 yards receiving. So this year, Jay Jetta will be able to break the record for 500 receptions, and that's pretty good, man. Being in the league for 5 years and you already at 500 receptions and over 7,000 yards. So closing in on that 10,000 mark for Jay Jetta, with a couple more big seasons, and he'll close in on that. But definitely, man, Jamar Chase has been nothing but magnificent for the Cincinnati Bengals. Jamar Chase ended up with his first Triple Crown reward for a wide receiver. And if you don't know what the Triple Crown is, it's basically an award for the wide receiver that pretty much in 3 categories led the National Football League. He led the league in with 127 receptions to go along with 1,700 yards. And not only having 1,700 yards, he also had 17 touchdowns, which led every wide receiver in the National Football League. And I'm wondering, man, if Chase can get a second Triple Crown award. Now, if he's able to do that, he'll be the first receiver in the National Football League that I know of that has ever won back-to-back Triple Crowns in the National Football League. Now, the biggest thing is trying to break the record now of Calvin Johnson, who ended up breaking the record of Jerry Rice. That record stood for a long time, but I believe Calvin Johnson has over 1,900 plus yards receiving in the season. And Justin Jefferson came very close a year before last, and he had 1,800 yards. So these guys are more than capable of getting over 2,000 yards receiving. And I'm pretty much thinking in my mind that this is probably going to be a goal for these guys to see which one of these guys will be able to get over 2,000 yards in a season receiving, whether it be Jay Jetta or whether it be Jamar Chase, which guy will be able to do it. Both of these guys have been phenomenal in their own rights. And if I had to say who are the best receivers in the National Football League, those 2 guys are at the top of the list, Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson are the best wide receivers in the National Football League. And I just think the only reason why I say that Chase is chasing to be the number one, because pretty much he's a year behind uh, Justin Jefferson, who came in the league 1 year before him. So Justin Jefferson will be going into his 6th year, I believe, in the NFL, and Jamar Chase will be going into his 5th year. But Jamar Chase leads them with touchdowns. So that's this kind of crazy. But Jamar Chase has 46 touchdowns, and I believe Jay Jetta has 40 touchdowns. So both of these guys are very, very good. Now, when it comes to the yards, you already know Jay Jetta leads with that. He has over 7,000 receiving yards, closing in on 10,000 yards. And he has about 400 plus receptions as well, closing in on 500 receptions for his career. And then Jamar Chase has over 5,000 receiving yards and over 300 plus receptions as well. So definitely, man, both of these guys are phenomenal athletes. But I definitely think that Jamar Chase, if he stays healthy, he has an opportunity to be the best wide receiver in the National Football League. If anybody is going to be competing with Justin Jefferson, I got to say, for the record, it's going to be Jamar Chase. If Jamar Chase stays healthy, then definitely he's going to be one of the best receivers in the National Football League. Now, a couple years ago, we thought that Tyreek, the phenomenal season that he was having with Miami, that he would eventually try to break the record, but he has not been able to do it for the most receiving yards in a single season. And then a year after Tyreek, it was Cooper Kupp almost breaking the record for almost 2,000 yards in a season. So I think that if any two wide receivers in the National Football League that can get to 2,000 yards in a season, it's going to be Jamar Chase and it's going to be Justin Jefferson. Both of these guys have the ability to break the record of Calvin Johnson that's been held for him for the past couple seasons. And we know that Calvin Johnson broke the record of Jerry Rice. And it ain't too many records of Jerry Rice that can be broken, but it's a couple that, that a couple of these wide receivers may be able to break. But as far as yardage and stuff like that and receptions, I don't think that these guys will be able to break Jerry Rice's record, because Jerry Rice has over 22,000 receiving yards. And that's going to be tough to be able to try to do that unless these guys just really, really, flat out go out there and every single year they go over 1,000 yards receiving or 1,500 yards or whatever they're going to go over to be able to catch Jerry Rice. It's going to be tough. And that's one of the records that I think that's going to be around for a while. So shout out to Jamar Chase. Shout out to Jay Jetta. Both of these guys being drafted from LSU have come into the National Football League and pretty much have taken the league over at receiver. Jamar Chase definitely is one of my favorite wide receivers in the league. I love Jamar Chase's game as well as Jay Jetta. I like Jay Jetta as well too. So if I had to pick one, and you say like, oh man, who you picking to start your franchise with? I'm gonna have to go with Jamar Chase. That's just my guy. I got to go with Jamar Chase. So you leave it in the comment section. If you're a Cincinnati Bengal fan, who would you go with? If Joe Burrow could throw the football to, are you going with Jay Jetta, or are you going to take your very own Jamar Chase? Would you take him instead of Jay Jetta? But anyway, no matter what guy you take, both of these guys are box office. Both of these guys are going to put up great stats. Both of these guys have the opportunity to do some great things in the National Football League. And I think that Jamar Chase, by him already saying, like, I want to get better this season, that's already going to set a precedent for Justin Jefferson to be even better this season as well. So I think when it comes to the competition, it's those two guys talking on the phone and being able to compete with one another and say, hey, man, I got you this year. I'm telling you, this year I'm going to end up with 135 receptions, and I'm going to have over 2,000 yards to go along with 20 touchdowns. I'm setting the goal that high. Not saying that these guys are going to be able to do that, but I'm just saying maybe that's the conversation that both of these guys who are former teammates are having on the phone, laughing and kicking it with one another. But definitely, man, Jamar Chase is definitely chasing greatness, and definitely he's coming for the #1 spot in the National Football League to be the best wide receiver. So, all right, guys, leave it in the comments section on what you think about Jamar Chase. Peace.